Hey, what's up? So I had a few minutes. Wife and kids are out of the house for a little while, and I was going to give something to Twitter. Um, it's a chart of ES. You got the weekly on the left and just a 3-minute chart on the right. Low time frame, high time frame. Um, so with ES today, there was a certain level. I'll trade order blocks, supply and demand. They're kind of pretty similar in my mind. Um, and then we'll touch on like the first time it comes into a zone. So why is this an order block? Well, it's order block, demand zone, whatever you want to call it. But this area, you can see where we kind of balanced. We ran up, we kind of balanced, stayed put inside this week, July 7th. And then the week of July 14th, we ripped out of it. Today we pulled back into that zone. So I was watching a level which was 85, 86, anywhere in there. Never for me is it going to be like to the penny. Um, Penny, tick, whatever. It's a zone, and you can see how they ran it down into there. There's plenty of opportunities on the way down to short it. Plenty, plenty, plenty. Nothing wrong with that. But once it gets there, how do you handle it? Um, First thing I'm going to look for is dips into the zone, and I'm looking at the 3-minute chart now, and low time frame structure shift or trend shift. So when I'm looking at that, obviously you got highs, lows. Um, so like got a high here, got a low here. Then you got another high here and you got a higher low here. So is this here, is that indicative to me for a change in structure, or is it indicative of a trend change just because we have a higher high? So the higher high is nice, the higher low is nice if we hold here and do some stuff. But I look at it like, what's the most important high? Who's in control right now? And in the way I look at things, this high is in control. Why? Because we curled down, had a nice little break of structure, and we hit the zone. So for me, any major shift is going to have to take this high. Now, as the chart progresses, you get this, and then you get a higher low. So this is not going to be strong. And then we get this, and then, which is a higher high, but then we get a lower low here. So hopefully this makes sense. I don't know if I'm doing a good job of explaining it. But now we have this lower low right here. What high is in charge? And I would say that this high is now in charge because of what? Because we got the lower low. Now we can look for a pivot. I will look for a pivot over this zone to get long. Okay. And that's the gist of what I wanted to point out. Everybody can show you the zones. How do you trade them? How do I trade them? What am I looking for? And that's essentially it. I say that this is important because we make lower low into the zone. This is less important because we hold a higher low. So my point is, like, you don't have to try to get long here because I wouldn't really want to get long until we take this significant high right here But as the chart develops and changes, once again, this, even though it's a higher high, it gives us a lower low. Okay, so this to me is now in charge. A pivot over this would pique my interest that we've hit a higher time frame area that could be support or find buyers or demand, whatever you want to call it. You get a higher low here, 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 and then you get these bars. See how these bars kind of rip out of there? They're strong, very strong. You get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 points in the matter of 6 minutes, 7 minutes. But the big thing is that we take this high, and for me, that's a big part of the structure. Has to do that, and now I can look for pullbacks into this area. And you can buy it on the bid here. I mean, where are you going to risk from? That's fine. Down here, I guess you could. Sure, it looks like it worked out perfectly for you. I'll typically wait for some type of strength. Like in my mind, shorts are hitting this as a higher low right here, where you see this kind of tiny little area where it just chops. And they're looking, the short for, in my mind, the shorts are looking for, maybe that's a better tool to use right now. In my mind, the shorts are looking for, this. And they're going to look for this line. They're going to look for other areas over here, for targets. So when we get this in line with this, and then I get a break out of there, I will sometimes buy that long right here. And they're all different, but at least this kind of gives you an idea or a thought of just a different opinion of what to look for. Maybe you already trade like this. So you got that high there that's important. We break it, we pull back into it, we consolidate, chop a bit, maybe take it there. Or now I sometimes I will also, I don't want to tell you what to do. I'm gonna tell you what I tend to do. Buy these pullbacks. I would sometimes buy these pullbacks here too, because you got a lot of people who are hitting these areas short that are underwater, right? Because they were looking for this and they're underwater. And so when it comes back down into these spots, those people will tend to try to minimize their pain. And the ones who don't minimize their pain, can cause a lot of this to rip up. And it's nice to be long for these little areas. And then you say, okay, what's a target? Well, I show you. I was talking to a friend in chat today. I'm not going to share the conversation because that's just not my style. But I'll just put the hourly over here. Shit. Where do you want to look for a target? Well, previous area supply. Okay. And so you can see where that went. And you can see it on this is an hourly chart. Nice little curl like this. Maybe an inverted cup and a fail down. Now we are coming back up, and that could be your target. I think I said 25, and we didn't quite get there, but we hit 22 and a tick. So that's all I got.